Okay, I hope you can see my screen. And today, I'd like to talk about the final project. Okay, this is count about 20% of your grade. So just briefly recap what I said last time is that, let me just do it this way. Okay, given that we're doing everything online, I see some disadvantage of doing this kind of traditional final exam or midterm. So in this quarter for ecs36b, we will not have any exam like a written exam like midterm or final, just like ask you question about programming or linguistics. I feel that I can still assess your understanding about this concept much better through doing homework and particularly looking at the final project. So we're going to have a final project that's count 20% of your grade, and this project will be formed by teams, project team, and each team will have 3 or 4 students. And in this project, I will discuss immediately next slide, talk about what are the topics. So basically, it's not a totally unrestricted project and ask you to worry about anything and then just deliver deliver some demo. You will have a demo, but I will call that a guided process for you to come up with a project proposal. And then from the project proposal, with some kind of guidelines, some kind of direction, and you will get a proposal which approved by me, and which during that time I will interact with each of the team. And the thing is that, I mean, the project proposal, don't worry about writing. I mean, like writing a 5-page proposal. This is not for writing. This is for writing code. So this project proposal could be just a piece of paper, like the record or even PowerPoint slide. And then we kind of want to specify what you need to do. And then we will have you to deliver and work on that among 3 or 4 of you. And then you will get a demo over Zoom, I assume. And this will be 12% of that 20%. So you will ask, well, what about the other 8%? Because I said this is 20%. So I want each team also be the evaluator of 2 other teams. So basically you will get 4% when you participate in the evaluation of other. I will be the evaluator, but I will have you also be the evaluation. So the evaluation team is that you will have, I will describe this a little bit more about how you will do this. But when the other team, the team you're evaluating is meeting in Zoom to do discussion, to talk about the idea, to do certain thing, your team need to send 1 or preferably 2 representatives to participate. And so you will see that this is a 4 students, say 4 students are discuss their project, but there are 2 representatives from 2 other teams will participate. And participate, they will both observing what's going on, and also they will actually provide constructive suggestion about how they should move. And also in the process, you will learn and understand what others are doing. And then after you participate, you need to write a short, not a long report. Okay, this is not a writing class. And write down what your observation, what you think. All right, so that is a evaluation. And the thing is that the other thing which is very important for the final demo, that each of the team need to provide a question to actually asking about what they're doing. Okay, so that's the other 8%. So each team will be assigned. I will assign after you form the team, then you will, which other team you will be working with. Okay. And the thing is that just let you know that since this course is object-oriented programming and this course is C++, so when you do your final project that at least a significant component of your work need to be written in C++, which means that you can actually use C++ plus, say, Java or Python together. I mean, you have a different component, but I'm asking you at least one major component is going to be written in C++, which shouldn't be a problem, okay? All right, that's kind of the high level concept about what you need to do about a final project. So now I'm going to give you some direction about what kind of final project you will be working on, okay? All right, so I'm actually giving you 4 topics, and in the following classes, each time I will probably provide more detail in each of this topic. And also, if you're particularly interested in one of the topic, you should let me know, and then I will help you to basically understand more about this. And not all the topics you're going to develop from scratch. So it means that some of the topic, I already have a lot of code bases that you are going to understand what's the current status and try to leverage on that, try to build on top of that. Let me actually go through this 4 topics very quickly, okay? So number 1, analytics of tweets. So I don't know whether you have been using Twitter. And there is a very important project about social media is that we try to understand the social interaction. That's, for example, on Twitter, people talk about Black Lives Matter movement, and people talk about COVID. People talk about a lot of things happen related to election. And the thing is that to write a program to actually obtain the tweets is actually fairly straightforward. To get the tweets, you use something called TWURL, which is the official API given by Twitter, and to allow you to actually download the tweets given you provide what we call the hashtag. You provide hashtag, you're going to get the tweets over here. And I want to have you guess what kind of data format when you request tweets from Twitter. Do you think they're going to using what data format send back the result back to you? Anybody want to give a guess?
JSON?
JSON, exactly. So let me actually show you what it looks like. I hope I still have it here.
So, Professor, you're saying that the final projects, they're similar to the homework that homeworks that we're doing, right?
It's related to the homework. Means that you're actually leveraging the concept you learned from the homework or some of the code you built from the homework, and you can actually to enhance that or actually adding your own innovation. So the challenge about homework, the difference between homework and where's my screen? I'm sorry. I tried to bring it up and then I lost it. Okay, so I just want to say the difference between homework and the project is that homework, what you need to do is 100% specify. Means that I want you to do my heel. You cannot say, I don't want to do my heel. I want to do my 0.5 heel. I only heel 50%. I mean, so that's the homework. Homework you're being given to do the work. And I really want you to apply what you learn to a more somewhat open-ended. That's project. Project means that you are being guided to do certain things, because on the other hand, you guys are mostly freshmen and sophomore, early stage. So you're not expecting to do a really complicated project, but you can actually have some fun about working on project, teamwork together. And I will give you some room for you to actually think about what you like to do. Okay, is that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Right. So the tweets coming back is in JSON format. And the thing is that after homework 3 or homework 4, you will have the capability to analyze the JSON. So somebody send you a JSON, you will be able to break it. So the homework 0, homework 1, homework 2, you're basically just manually handcraft a JSON, and then you can submit the information. Later, I will ask you to write a C++ program, and using a library that you can actually do a very sophisticated manipulation about the JSON information. So essentially, apply that to tweets. So whatever you receive from Twitter is lots of information that just like what you see on the web, but is actually in JSON format. And then you will know, and you should know very quickly, that how to break that into different fields. For example, this is a message, who actually sent it, what they said, what's the hashtag. So you kind of separate the information into different segments. And then from there, you try to do analysis. For example, let me actually say a particular analysis that you can do. In fact, this is an analysis I was asked to think about this morning. For example, say there is an event. There is a tragic event that there was another victim. And the thing is that there were some topics. Say, let's just pick a topic, say BLM, Black Lives Matter. I mean, you don't have to pick this topic. I'm just using this because I was asked to do this morning. They're saying that, well, can you actually compare the amount of the people tweeting about BLM is actually more or less after the presidential debate or vice presidential debate. So essentially, this is what we call analytics of tweets. Means that you have a purpose that you would like to find out, and then you obtain data. And the thing is, then you basically look into the JSON to, of course, look at the timestamp. You know that whether this is before or after. And then you can actually count. Just say, well, this word is being used after this, and it used much less before this. So that's called analytics. So you can see that somebody, especially social scientists, they're interested in communication, they're interested in the election is coming, and there are lots of interesting topics that you can actually do in this. So me as an instructor, I won't restrict you about what topic you would like to study, but I will help you to obtain the data and tell you that, okay, you can actually think about this direction if you're interested in BLM, COVID, or election, or something happened at the other corner of the world. Okay, so that is the spirit. So your team has the freedom to think about what's best interesting to all of you, and you really want to work on that. So I hope you learn something, not just from the programming perspective, but from the teamwork and project perspective, but also from the impact oriented, because what you're doing, looking at tweets, you're really thinking about this is influencing all of us right now at this moment. Okay, so that's the first topic. Okay, the second topic, which I'm actually thinking that, well, some of you might want to learn to, instead of developing the software on the terminal or even on the web, that some of you might want to really change what has been developed in like a homework into a mobile platform. I mean, for example, one of the homework will be asking you to essentially build a very simple social media system or a very simple search engine. And well, we're going to do this in a very not very user-friendly terminal. And some of you might want to learn about, well, how do I develop mobile apps? And the thing is that, so the focus of here is really try to take a somewhat mature application you already can see it running and turn it into mobile apps. I mean, for example, can I ask you to develop a mobile apps to do my break and my heal? I mean, instead of for you to just type it up using the ARGC, ARGV. I mean, can you actually turn it into a mobile apps? So this will be something that you might be interested. And I can relate to homework. I can actually give you a basic program already running for, by the way, for each of this, I will be able to support you with some existing code or direction that you're not actually going to do from scratch. You can actually, of course, if you want to do a scratch, that's okay. But this is something which the second topic for you to think about, okay? Okay, the third topic, I mean, some of you look at this as saying that, wow, why is this? Sounds like very advanced and in the future life or smart city. Yes, it is. And in fact, this is what, for example, a company like Google, Amazon, they're interested right now. So, so the concept is called smart fridge. When I talk about smart fridge, I'm not talking about a refrigerator that's actually just maintain the storage about where your food is. Sorry, whether you get a milk, whether you need to get more meat, whether you eat enough vegetable. Those things are, of course, important. But what we are really interested is actually thinking about food as information. So think about what we deal with information. We share information, we share a picture, so it means the information is a flow from one side to the other. But we also share food. That's why I call food tracking, because when you go to Nugget, when you pick up a food, and the thing is that that food is actually going to transfer over to your refrigerator. So it's really a transformation about information. It's transferred from one fridge to the other, from Nugget's fridge to your own fridge. And the thing is that this is a concept, if you think about the future of the information, about the food and safety, this is, by the way, related to COVID as well. And I already built with my other graduate student, we actually built a C++ and also Python version. Here we have a both C++ version and Python version. It's an object-oriented baseline to actually represent the whole smart fridge concept. And now you're thinking, the project I'm actually thinking is that given that you have this food tracking capability, can you actually think about some of the interesting application that you can use? So your freedom is think about what application I can build using this food tracking system. Let me give you an example. This is my favorite topic, so sorry, I want to go a little bit deep into this. I actually have a demo in one of the video I can probably share with you. By the way, before I move on, I have been talking for a while. Any question or anything I should clarify before I move?
Professor, so you said before that we're allowed to use different languages.
Yes.
So if we were to do the analytics for tweets, we're not like, we could use, for instance, JavaScript and some frameworks for JavaScript to get the tweets from, like, for using the API of Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just clarifying that.
You can do that.
Thank you.
So I'm actually thinking that assuming you have other method to analyze the tweets, right? So at least you can do is that you go to the Twitter to obtain the JSON, and you use your C++ code to convert that JSON to somewhere else, because using C++ library is as easy as other language like a Python. You can do that as well. In fact, almost everything here, I have both Python version and C++ version. So it's, I mean, by the way, you can see my bias toward Python. Python is really easy to use. I mean, if I can use Python, I will use that as much as I can. Okay. All right, so I'm going to talk about smart fridge. Okay, what I'm going to say may be a little bit controversial, and some of you might not like it, but I'm going to talk about that anyway. Okay, so when you walk into the Nugget market, You walk into the Nugget, and there is a one aisle, particular aisle, is selling alcohol, beverage, beers, or red wine. Okay, so the thing is that when you walk into that aisle, by the way, your program don't need to even worry about that because this has been taken care of. So there's some sensor is going to check that you actually walk somewhat slower and your eyes is looking at a particular brand of beer. By the way, today, Amazon, Google, they can do that. No problem, okay? They will know what kind of things you like. Just like when you visit their website, they know what you like, okay? We're being monitored, sorry about that. Okay, so they know you're very interested in a particular type of beer. Okay, so now they can actually do that. They can do the following. They can actually send you or maybe your spouse or your friend right next to you a coupon for a 30% discount for that product you're interested right there. If you think about that, is that you walk, you show your interest somehow, make eye contact on the product, they figure that out, and your mobile phone is suddenly receive beep, a product, a coupon, 30% discount. I mean, do you think that this will significantly boost the chance for you to purchase that product? You think so? I mean, anybody have this kind of experience when you walk into one of the store and then suddenly you receive online coupon and suddenly you're still hesitate to buy it, but now you actually have all the reason for you to purchase that product. Will you buy it?
I would.
Okay, good. Okay, now I'm actually going to ask you this question. This is actually the key question to ask for the smart fridge food tracking. Is it ethical for the company? For the company means Nugget Market or Safeway, SafeMart, or Trader Joe to send you that coupon if this product is a alcohol, say beer. Is that ethical? It's questionable. Let's actually tell you why.
I mean, it's not ethical if someone is underage.
Right. It's actually more complicated than that, but you're heading in the right direction, Saif. So if I am just a price-sensitive person, if I'm just a price-sensitive person, then I think is probably ethical because they just, I mean, Super Bowl is coming assuming, and then I'm actually going to save the money and then to do that. So it might be okay. But what happened if I have addiction to alcohol, or people can access to the fridge at home, at my home, because I remember I told you it's actually talk about food tracking about from this fridge move to the other fridge. So I actually know which fridge that this one will reside. And then that particular fridge is also a smart fridge. He will know who actually have access to that fridge. And assuming there is a person who actually have addiction of alcohol to that fridge, then basically for the ethic awareness computing, that coupon shouldn't be delivered to me. I mean, you can deliver the coupon to a person to help the promotion unless that you think there is a few rule about like alcohol addiction or some of the family issue has been taken care of, then you can do that. So this is actually the power about information. And to make it even worse is that, well, now we're talking about alcohol addiction means that the smart fridge is going to access my health information because previously, they don't know whether I am or I am not. But now you want to make this ethical decision, you need to assess my health. Do I want them to actually be able to see this for this purpose? And that actually trigger a lot of what I call application level scenario. So for this project, I'm really giving you the tracking system or the smart fridge, they're all in both C++ and Python. Is you can think about is a lot of object over there. It's in fact it looks like related also to your homework assignment number 4 and
Professor?
5. And then your team is going to think about what is application. I mean, how do you actually leverage this to deal with real world application and to help people to actually make an ethical decision and make sure that whenever they got promoted with advertisement, it's actually going to be a good one for their personal situation. Okay, so this is actually quite exciting. Is that I'm actually, if you know me a little bit more, we talk this, is that I'm somebody who is really interested in technology, but I'm a great concern about how technology has been used in a way to boost economics and not necessarily put the goodness for us as a customer the first priority. So that is something which I see that the more we have AI technology, the more we have programmable technology, it's very convenient. We can have a lot of things. But on the other hand, whether that is being planned out in such that we don't have any unexpected side effect or negative impact to our life. And that is something which I think all the programmer need to have the sense. I mean, I assume all of you will take ECS-180A eventually, if you're a computer science major, which is ethics course. And over there, you will actually see more about how technology might change the result of a election, for example, or change the result about how people perceive certain issue that for our society. That would, oh, go ahead, please.
Maybe as an ethical application would be, for example, the food tracking software takes your diet and what you need for the fridge, and then it tells you where to buy certain products from different supermarkets, for example, and it gives you like recommendations on what you need. Right. So do you think this is an application for?
Yeah, it is application. That's a great input. But the other thing I do want to say that, let me go a little bit deeper into this, is that they are going to obtain information about you to make that decision, to help you to have a healthy diet. But the other thing is that that information cannot be used in other purpose. So for example, if I can give you my alcohol addiction information to the store, and you should use that information to help me to say whether I will receive a promotion, but you shouldn't use that information to inform something else, which is actually for their benefit, not for my benefit. So for example, people will say, oh, UC Davis student. I mean, this is the worst part, okay? The news saying that, let's say, let me just pick one, okay? Trader Joe announced 80% of the UC Davis student visit the store has some level of alcohol addiction problem. I mean, our chancellor will really get angry about this kind of misusage of information. Right? You understand what I'm saying? So there's an issue about today. In fact, this is one of the things I personally, in my research project, I'm actually against big players such as Google and Facebook. They're basically information extraction company, and they use that information to train their AI tool to conduct business for their company, and not necessarily for individual user about the information. So if you look at the European, they call GDPR. I don't know if you heard about that. European has this, California has a similar one, General Data Protection Regulation. This happened about 2 years ago. And basically, every information every company collect need to be used only toward that stated purpose. That is what the most important regulation that we like to enforce. But even though 2 years after that, we still have a lot of hole there, just let you know. So this project is actually have a lot of depths into that. It's from the programming perspective, maybe it's not that complicated, but from the thoughts, that's what the freedom I want you to think about, is that you have the power to write information, to write program, you have the power to access data, tweets or whatever. And then you can leverage this data to do something which is how do you make sure you're not, you means the company is doing this appropriately and not misuse the information. That's really a very, very interesting perspective. So the final project you can see for me is not just provide you more opportunity to write program, but I'm really thinking that you should work on something that your heart tell you that this is something is very meaningful for your life and for your contribution to our society. All right, I can talk more about the detail, give you more example, but that's essentially, for all the programmer, we're dealing with information. We need to deal with confidentiality, privacy, ethics, and the impact. Those words keep in mind. We're not just a programmer to finish homework, but we are programmer to change the world. Okay. All right, so the last one is the idea called social algorithm. I don't know you heard about the term called social algorithm. Anybody heard about this term, social algorithm? Okay, so this is a pretty new term, and you probably never heard about it, but let me tell you what social algorithm is.
Maybe like semantics?
Not semantics. So social algorithm is about information delivery. Means that if you think about Google, Facebook, Twitter, they all do some kind of recommendation system about what information they will recommend to you. So the reason we call it social algorithm is that the system is observing your social interaction. So it means that what you like, what you click, what kind of, I mean, for example, when you have apps on your smartphone, and how fast you roll up. For example, you're looking at Facebook, the live feed, and you're rolling very fast for those information you're not interested. And then at some point you slow down, then they know that you're actually interested in that. So essentially all the information service provider, they are looking at the information about us and decide what information need to deliver to us next. So the precision about the information delivery is critical for their success. If you think about that, you're using an application like Facebook, Google, and the information they gave to you, 99% you feel is not really what you want, then you probably won't stay there very long. And therefore, they're actually tracking what you're interested in and then send you, for example, they always send me basketball. They know I love the basketball, and then recently, especially with NBA postseason, that the frequency I receive the NBA related content is actually boosted up quite a bit. So you can see that the social algorithm is understand the society and you and information around you to decide what information need to send to you. And that has a problem for something we call what we call bubble. What's the bubble? Echo of chambers, but the other words, I suddenly slipped my mind. But you probably know that you're going to surround it by the bubble of the people, opinion, and the information that just like you. So sometimes that particularly separate our society even further, especially election coming. Okay, so that is another thing is that, well, because one of the homework is essentially for you to deliver a very basic version about social algorithm or search engine is not even, I call it social algorithm, just content delivery. And then you can actually think about, well, how do you actually improve that to actually have a nice social algorithm to work with? So those are some of the topics, not some of the topic. I want you to be focused on a set of topic, and so you can actually converge very quickly. Okay. Before I move on, any question?
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, my mic working, okay. Yeah, could we say
Go
that
ahead,
the social algorithm and whatnot applies to like friend suggestions and just based on people you're friends with in your list and based on interest?
Yeah,
Because I noticed
that's
sometimes
also social algorithm. That's a general social algorithm. Social algorithm is help you to do any kind of recommendation with friends, relationships, or groups, or content. The reason I particularly talk about content is that we are really worried about, you probably heard about a term called fake news or disinformation. And the thing is, they're all related. And disinformation has been really, really quite a serious problem this day. Yeah. So that's why, yeah, it's very general. Okay, any other question?
I had a question, Professor.
Sure, go ahead.
So you said that in the upcoming homeworks, there will be like small programs like that'll show us how to use like the Twitter API and stuff like that. And we'll sort of build on that for our projects if we choose to do it. So
Right.
does that mean that, like, since I don't have any knowledge about, how do you analyze Twitter and stuff, does that mean I can't work on the project until we come across those homeworks?
I think you can actually start already. It's already, I don't think you need a lot of knowledge. If you want to work on Twitter, let me actually show you something, okay?
Okay.
Let me show you something very, very quick. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm actually, sorry, I was just closed my door. I forgot to close my door, and my wife just came back. Let me share my screen, and we'll show you a very simple thing. Okay, you can see my screen. I should go here, CD BLM, CD Twitter. Okay, so I'm going to, let me tell you that this is just really just one command, okay? And for example, I just do this command. After you install this Twitter URL, TW URL, it just follows some instruction, and I just run this program. Let's say let me try to see if there is any tweets about ecs36b. Okay, you see that this is the command called TWURL, and then this is the path, and tweets.json question the security for TC. Let me try to save it as tweets ecs36b.json. I'm not sure I will get anything, okay? I never tried that. Okay, now let's see what I got. Nothing. I'm sorry, I didn't get anything. If you look at this, you know that I didn't search. There was nothing in this tag. Okay, so let's try to do it differently. Let's try to search for. Let me search for Butler. See if is that the right way to pronounce Butler. I talk about Jim Butler. All right, tweets Butler. I better get something. Yeah, I have lots of things about Butler. And okay, if you look at this is, by the way, if you look at this is a JSON. It looks pretty complicated. And this is the following I'm going to show you is like a homework assignment number 3, like a 1 or 2 lines of code. You can get this. Let me see. My program is in program. Okay, I'm going to do this program. I actually have a program here. I will base on that. What's the name of the program? Is called SJ. Okay. Program SJ, and I call it TW Butler. Okay, it basically separates the program into this nice JSON format. This is called style string. If you use the C++ API, it's actually going to give you this output, and then you can actually start to see this is supposed to be human readable. You can see that it got 15 counts, 15 that's coming in, and it has different kind of tweets that's actually listed with a different area. So what I'm saying is that, okay, for example, this is the first tweets. That's the source is from here, and the text. Let me move this a little bit. And then truncate for user who actually did this, who actually sent this out. Sorry, let me go this here a little bit. And so you can see that there is all the information about the tweets that you can get from here. Okay, so if you think about that, the hardest part is for you to understand under Twitter what are the fields that's relevant to the analysis you want to have. And it's not about what software you need to do, because the software to separate them into field is actually pretty straightforward. Okay. So to answer your question, if TechHar, is that I feel that you can start it as soon as possible based on the concept. And then you will see that what element of the tool or the things you feel you miss, then we will try to help you to sharpening your understanding about, say, well, how do you handle JSON? How do you actually handle some of the mobile apps issue? I would say all other part, the programming is pretty standard, except the mobile. The mobile, if you want to do some kind of mobile apps that you might need to use some framework, like Android framework or some of the platform independent framework to develop that. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Hey,
Sir, I just wanted to ask. Oh, you go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Professor, are you going to upload the resources for the projects?
Yes, I will. I will have a folder to upload all the resources. Yeah, by the way, I just fixed the GitHub link. Now we have a GitHub for fall 2020.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Sir, we can choose our own groups, right?
Yes. Okay, that's important. The last message for today is that I want you to start forming your group. You should do this as soon as possible. Start to talk to people. I want you to have 4 students a group, and then maybe we'll have some group with 3 students only. Okay, you should do that. And if you couldn't find I will find a way, like using some social media to help you to connect with each other.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the session here, because I'm going to switch to the other session for the group 1. But if you have a question, you're welcome to try to go to my office hour tomorrow, or you can make an appointment with me tomorrow. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Professor?
Yes.
I'm with the group right now. Do you have a different Zoom link, or it's the same one?
Yes, I do. I include that in the email.
In the email. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Professor?
All right. Thank you.